Breaking news in Laos, where a massive rescue mission is currently underway. A little over an hour ago, one of the 5 men stuck in a cave was brought safely out after being trapped for 9 days. This video here shows him exiting the cave, cheering and showing signs of relief. Officials say they will continue evacuation efforts for the other 4 survivors tomorrow. Rescuers have been racing against the clock, drilling through meters of these narrow, flooded and jagged passages in that cave. Earlier, some of the trapped men began raising concerns about their health. Rescuers say that rising water levels and poor visibility are still posing a threat there. 2 other people are still unaccounted for. NBC News international correspondent Janis Mackey Frayer is following the very latest from Beijing for us. So, Janis, what more do we know about this man who has now been rescued? And what more can you tell us about this delicate rescue operation?
Well, what a dramatic scene unfolding in Laos, where it's quite literally a race against time. The first survivor out, not entirely steady on his feet as he was met by his father. The time it takes to rescue each villager is going to vary depending on their strength and their ability to maneuver through this cave system. The tunnels are extremely narrow. It takes a special skill set for the divers to do it. Each of the men has been trapped in the cave without food or water for 9 days. So when each of them gets out, they're going to be checked by doctors. They're going to look for signs of malnutrition and dehydration. Rescue teams, including military divers, also warn that worsening weather could complicate what is already a very dangerous mission for them. They've been working to pump water out of this cave system, which can flood rapidly and cut off routes in just minutes. And there was an overnight rainstorm that did make the work this evening that much more harder to do, Vicky.
We are so glad to see that first man out safely. Janis, what about those 2 other people who are still missing? Do we know more about them? And also, like, why these men were down in these caves to begin with?
Well, as you mentioned, the rescue teams are fighting rising water and currents in these narrow passages, and now there are signs of declining health in the men that they're trying to free. They've also talked about the complications of weather, and they've been unable to locate 2 other men who were part of this group. They're trying to focus on a chamber about 80 feet from where the 5 men were found. Visibility underwater is near zero, all mud and clay apparently. And some passages are so tight that the divers are struggling to squeeze through with their oxygen tanks. Now, officials haven't said how long the remaining men could stay inside. They're taking them food and water. The search and rescue teams have retreated for the night. They say the 4 men who are still inside are not yet ready to be rescued, and they will make another attempt tomorrow.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.